Welcome to the Fantasy and Frames Mock After Dark live show. I am Chris Battistel, and you can find me at FFChrisB on Twitter. And with me is Gator J. You can find at FantasyJ77 on Twitter. Gator, how's your night been, man?
Man, it has been absolutely crazy. Like I was telling you right before the show, I've already got two, rookie drafts in.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're not even 48 hours after. Well, maybe we are 48 hours after the NFL draft. Look, man, I tell you what, the craziest thing was a 12 team, 8 hour per pick,
Yep,
and
slow draft.
slow draft. We were done in like a day and a half. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah.
People are
I'm in the
so
same
jonesing.
boat. Oh yeah,
How are you
four or five
tonight?
rounder. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to roll. It is mock draft season. We are getting everyone ready for their rookie drafts. This is a 12 team super flex tight end premium. We're gonna go through 4 rounds, 2 minutes per pick, and talk a little bit of trash about everyone's pick except ours, right, Jay?
Well, ours are going to be perfect. We're
Yeah.
picking and getting value in our picks. Everybody else, it's on them, right?
Exactly.
Well, you ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah, let's
We're
roll.
kicking it off a few minutes early, but that's okay. We can kick it off a little bit. We got Jeff Lambert from Going for Two Network over in the chat. So thank you for joining us tonight, Jeff.
Yes,
He is
Jeff.
also in the draft, so that's going to be nice to see how bad. Listen, that's somebody he runs Going for Two Network, which I am on Thursday nights, every other Thursday night right now,
Yep.
and on the Gambit. So I'm waiting just so I can see what he's going to do, just so I can turn right around and pick on him in both the Discord and in the private chats we have with Going for Two.
Let it begin. Bijan, I mean, I haven't really seen much different
You know,
than
I
Bijan
I
Taylor.
have seen Anthony Richardson, who has skyrocketed up the board,
Oh,
even in
nice young.
Superflex, jump up to 1-1.
Yeah. I've seen. I
In
haven't
one
seen it
draft.
yet. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't doubt it, man. The hype is real with Anthony Richardson right now. There he is,
Yep,
103.
103. Which I think that 102, that
Yeah.
103 area is probably right about right about right for him. In a super flex at this point this is why I chose the 104. I wanted a tough decision right here, and it's a little bit tougher than I thought it was going to be. I really thought that there was going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs go, whether it was Bryce Young, whether it was Anthony Richardson. I thought Jahmyr Gibbs was going to go at that 1-2,
Yeah.
1-3. At this point, I think I've got to take. Man, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs for me at the 1-3, even in a super flex. And the reason being is I just don't know what I can expect in that Houston offense. It may be another year or two with that. So give me Jahmyr Gibbs. They picked him up at the 12th spot in the NFL draft. They got rid of Swift. They're just
by his own
this guy.
choosing. Came out today that he said he wanted to be dealt once they made
course
that
you wanted
pick.
to be dealt.
Get me out of here.
Dude.
Trade me right now.
Yeah, they gave away. I mean, they gave away all of his touchdowns last year to Williams, and then they go and get Jahmyr Gibbs. So, which is maybe a little bit lighter than Swift, but geez, Swift is that pass catching back, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and Jahmyr Gibbs is pretty much that exact same thing. So, but he's 3 or 4 years, at least in contract wise, he's 3 years younger.
Yep. I
So
like
we
it.
got
I like the Gibbs pick.
I see, and there's the thing is, I can say this now because it is a mock, so I can maybe come back and get like a Hendon Hooker, something like that in that 3rd round, even a Will Levis, if I am a quarterback needy team at that point.
Yeah, if you were to trade back, what kind of value would you be looking for in terms of draft capital and return from the 104?
From the 104, I'd be looking probably in that 1-7 plus maybe like a 3rd round, maybe.
Yep.
Something like that, where
mid-second, because there's still a quarterback on the board. If it with the super flex and the wide receiver 1 is on the board as well. Looks like we're going to get a timeout.
Oh, Jamie, where are you at, Jamie? Big game, James, get in here. Okay, so I'm not going to let him time out. If he doesn't pick I guess the obvious choice is a CJ Stroud there, right?
Yeah, he's been falling to the 105, 106 pick.
Yep. Okay. Well, auto drafted CJ Stroud
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
so
that's
that
fair.
works. Yeah. So you got the top three quarterbacks and the top 2 running backs off the board. I
Off the
mean,
board.
this next run is just going to be insane wide receiver, right?
Yeah, it has been. Usually the top 3, maybe 4. Usually the tight end 1 goes in about this range. But
Jordan Addison before
wide
JSN.
receiver 1. I like it. I like it
Hmm.
short-term wise. Long-term, JSN is probably more poised to be a better fantasy asset. But short-term in that offense, Minnesota, man, I love Jordan Addison there. I was hyped for that pick. It was one of my preferred landing spots for him.
Fantasy Dysfunctional, the Best Ball Mania drafts will be starting very shortly. I know Stacy and Stephanie were talking about that today in the chat.
Yep.
I believe they may be doing a Best Ball possibly tomorrow. And I know they're going to be doing Best Ball Mania starting this weekend or this coming week. So keep your eyes out for that. Appreciate you checking on the Best Ball Mania stuff going on there. Dynasty Dysfunctional is all over it tonight. So we got to run Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Quentin Johnston. What surprises you there to start off with, Chris?
Just the Addison going before Smith and Njigba, pretty much. Other than that, not much else. I haven't really seen Njigba go second, but I love the Addison going first there. Quentin Johnson has been pretty much in this spot mixed with Zay Flowers, so not much surprise. This is where the draft gets a bit murky. Mm-hmm. I would probably want to draft trade back and try to gain some more capital to gain some more depth, but I can't do that here. I don't want to take the tight end in the first round. I'm not a fan with taking rookie tight ends, especially with first round capital.
Even in a tight end premium.
If the tight end premium was like 2 points and it was significant, then I would consider it. But I'm still, if I'm picking in this spot, I most likely have a somewhat contending team, and I'm looking for that one piece that's going to bring me ahead and possibly win a championship. And that, to me, that's not a rookie tight end. I'm going to go Zay Flowers.
I love that pick. The only thing that concerns me is I heard it today, and I hadn't really thought about this, but does he become the not it wasn't Bateman? Who's the other wide receiver that they had that just kind of went
Duvernay?
Does he become the new Duvernay?
I've heard that, but I think he's a better route runner than Devin Duvernay. Okay. Devin Duvernay is good in the return game. I think that's where he'll be utilized, but I sure hope not as a fantasy asset. I hope he's not the next Devin Duvernay.
Well, and the other side of that coin is OBJ was only there for 1 year, so
yeah.
we shall see. I think Zay Flowers in Baltimore is a beautiful landing spot for him. Sure. And we do have the first tight end off the board at 110, Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo.
Was he your tight end 1?
He was my tight end 1.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But the thing with me is, I had Michael Mayer, just like probably 90% of the world until, excuse me, until the medicals came out that Kincaid was
healthy,
back was good, and then the draft capital just confirmed that Dalton Kincaid is the number 1 tight end of the class. Oh, hang on. I gotta pause the draft. Hang on 1 second. Somehow
flipping it to linear.
Well. Somehow it went that route. So we will get back over here and do this the right way, and get the linear draft in here because it's a rookie. Come on, what are we doing here? It's a rookie guy set it up. That'd be me. It's set it up incomplete. But yes, Dalton Kincaid, but it is my tight end 1. But I do love the landing spot that Michael Mayer got out there in Vegas. So
yep.
Will Levis off the board at the 111. Devin A-Chain at 112. It's going to be skyrocketing up the board with the speed that he has. So what do you think about Devon A-Chain in Miami?
I like the speed. I like the fit. I don't know if he's a better running back, as the term running back is, than the guys that are there already. It's a deep depth chart. They paid Wilson. They paid who's the other guy there?
Raheem Mostert.
Mostert's been in that program before. I'm not comfortable spending the back end first on him, but again, this is where the draft starts to get a little bit murky. He's probably got the more upside than the guys that are getting picked after him here. So I don't hate to pick this late in the draft.
Yeah, I think 112 is probably going to be about where he's going to be going.
Yeah,
and he's probably going to go earlier in some drafts. Michael Mayer goes after him. Jonathan Mingo, who ends up in Carolina and got great draft capital.
Yeah. Did he ever? Did he ever?
I know you were. I don't know how. I can't remember how high you were on him, but I thought you were. I thought you were like, this guy, this guy. And then Kendre Miller, and I'm on the clock right here, and I'm going to snag somebody that I think got a rookie quarterback, got himself going into, and he's got 2 wide receivers that can absolutely stretch the field. But I do believe Josh Downs can be that guy underneath. They didn't do, they didn't go after another tight end. They've got what's the tall guy? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Mo Ali Cox or Jelani Woods.
Jelani Woods. They can also take some of the Josh Downs receptions or targets away, but Josh Downs, I think, has a huge route tree.
Yeah, and
can run anything and everything. And with Pierce on one side, Pierce is probably going to be more of a slot anyway. But then you also have Pittman. I think Downs is just made, if he can get 75, 80 targets and catch 65 balls, I mean, what else can you ask for from a rookie?
Yeah, rookie. Yep. My only worry there is volume. What's the passing volume going to be like if Richardson starts? Which the rumors are, or the news coming out is that he's projected to be that week 1 starter. So that's my only worry with the pass catchers over at Indianapolis.
Yeah, Jamie, I couldn't take Roschon there. You right behind me. I had to let you get your guy. I couldn't snipe you because then you'd be crying on every network that I sniped you.
Charbonnet, what a fall for Charbonnet. Pre-draft, he was getting mocked mid-first, back-end first. He's fallen mid-second now.
Is that not? I mean, it's landing spot, right? It's landing spot.
Yeah,
that's hurting, right?
There, yeah.
Because he's still got second round draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that the draft capital hurt him. He went kind of where we expected, except for the actual landing spot. I really wanted to take Rashawn Johnson at 3, but I just couldn't do it with that capital. Love it. Everybody loves Roschon right now. Jamie is in everybody's head with this Roschon Johnson pick.
It's a good pick. Even the Chicago Bears are excited. There was a report that came out that said they see him as a pillar to the offense. So I don't know what that does for guys like Khalil Herbert or anyone else in that backfield. They signed Donta Foreman, but it's not looking good for those two when the Chicago Bears speak so highly of their rookie running back.
But do you I mean, it's the Chicago Bears, first of all.
Yeah, this is true.
But do you expect them to do anything else but boost up their Velus Jones? I mean, their rookie that they chose.
Sure. They're not going to talk bad about him, right?
So we got Charbonnet off the board. Then we got Sam Laporta being the 3rd tight end. Tajay Spears goes at 2.8. What do you think of Tajay Spears' landing spot in Tennessee? Because I think that there is a chance. I mean, we still got a few months before the NFL starts, before the first game of the NFL and all. But I think there's a chance that there could possibly still be a trade. They've talked about it. But even if there's not a trade, what Derrick Henry's going into age 27, 28 season?
He's up there. He's old in terms of running back years.
In Dynasty, Tajay has a chance to take over that backfield if his knees hold up.
That's the ultimate decider on his fate in terms of a fantasy asset is that ACL or lack thereof in his case gonna shorten his playing time in the NFL? 2 to 3 years, but that's the kind of window that we put running backs in anyways. So if he doesn't have a lot of usage in that first year, he could be you might get 2 good years out of him down the stretch. But I don't hate the pick there. I want to take Jaden Reed here. He was a sleeper of mine heading in to the pre-draft. He got great draft capital. I love where he ended up with the Packers, but I'm going to go Tank Bigsby out of Jacksonville.
Sorry,
I think
bastard.
I think he's going to be a good fit in that offense. We know what the head coach likes to do with running multiple running backs, and he likes to have that one guy that could run north and south. And Travis Etienne just isn't that guy. He's not that guy in the goal line. I was talking about it with Keith Fleming in our Slack chat there about it. So I like Tank Bigsby. I've been pre-draft, I've been able to get him here, and post-draft, I've been able to get him here. I love his landing spot, and I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, I think the 2-9 is absolutely a phenomenal pick for Tank Bigsby there.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with him and ETN in the same backfield is they are completely opposite backs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
ETN is a boom bust guy. Yeah. He's not a guy that's going to run between the tackles, which a lot of us in the fantasy world are like, let's get that guy because he's so productive. Well, he's productive because he catches balls.
Yeah, that's the touchdown guy too, right?
Correct.
The north-south guy's a touchdown guy.
When you sit there and watch him, he didn't do it in college. He hasn't done it in the NFL. Of course, now the first year he was injured, so he's only really truly had 1 year in the NFL. But it's again, you're looking for that. Here's the thing with just about, I think there was like four or five NFL backs that actually eclipsed like 65% snap share, or when they were healthy, not counting games that they weren't healthy. But even like ETN was only like at 62%. So everybody's going that route. I don't hate the pick. I mean, I don't hate ETN by no means. I absolutely love ETN. I own certain, shares of him all over the place.
Own quite a bit. Yeah.
But I will be picking him up. I will be picking up Tank Bigsby shares because then you're looking at, you could be looking very similar at the DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams situation, where as long as you've got the touchdowns, you're good.
Especially if you're playing any kind of best ball. I think Bigsby could be that guy that has those few boom weeks where he's scoring multiple touchdowns for you.
Yeah, and so right after you took Tank Bigsby, we got Hendon Hooker off the board, which I was hoping to get in round 3. Didn't make it that far. Fifth quarterback off the board. Marvin Mims, Cedric Tillman, which this may be one of the first drafts I've seen him go this early.
Yeah.
Rashid Rice, Chase Brown, who absolutely love his landing spot. And then the guy you were just speaking of,
my
Reed
boy
there. Yeah. So, and the one thing with going back to Tillman, this may be one of the first drafts I've seen him go in front of Jalen Hyatt, who I am going to take here.
Love the
for one reason and one reason only. It's the third round. I
Mhm.
am shooting straight upside right here.
Love it.
So
Love it.
what that he can only run one style of route, whether it's the 9 or 7. It's who cares? That's a touchdown route, and I will take 2 of those every game.
Every game.
So I will.
Did you see the video
where?
Did you see the video where he was talking to the Dallas Cowboys coach?
No.
And Dallas Cowboys coach is like, "Oh, you know what kind of player you are," and Hyatt's like, "I can run routes though." And then the coach is like, "Let me see it." And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to show you." And then it's just a highlight. I think it was his pro day. It was just highlights of his pro day, just him running all different kinds of routes. And it was the ultimate pick for the Giants because obviously he gets to play the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Cowboys coaches twice a year now. So I love the Hyatt pick there, especially in the third. I love it in the third.
Well, if you look at it, you look at the other wide receivers that the Giants have, and they're all like 5'4", 5'8", right? This guy's 6 foot.
Daniel Jones has an arm; he can make the passes downfield. That's been proven.
Yes,
and I like it. I like the Hyatt pick. I really like the Hyatt pick there. It's great value.
Yes, and Jorge jumping in here. Hyatt equals consistency in this Giants offense. And that is absolutely true because they have no consistency other than Saquon Barkley, in my opinion. Ooh, Evan Hall,
Evan Hall.
35. What do you think of 3.5 for Evan Hall?
I like it. This is the rounds where you want to scoop up as many running backs as you can. The situation's a bit murky there with Jonathan Taylor, obviously. You don't know what they're going to do with Deion Jackson. He's probably out the door soon anyways, but then Anthony Richardson's there as well. But if Jonathan Taylor doesn't stay healthy, which he hasn't been able to do in the past, at least last season, Evan Hall could be a guy that's going to have some good opportunity in that offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for him to see the field, but I mean,
yeah. At least right away. As a dynasty asset, it might be a good hold, could be a good trade target after.
Yes. And then our very own Bill Mustafa's guy.
Not anymore, he said.
Not anymore. He stopped driving the bus, the hype that he got, then he just fell off in the draft.
He got traded.
He got picked by the
Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So at this point, we are at the 3-7. What is your biggest steal of the draft at this point? I mean, Jamie's in here saying that there's a bunch of sharks in this draft. He can't find anybody in the third round. Who? Well, you're coming up, so I'll hold that question for here just a second. But Deuce Vaughn just comes off. Great story with Deuce Vaughn too, with his dad backing out, saying I'm not going to scout him, not going to do anything, and then they go in. Then the Cowboys go and draft him anyway. I thought that was a great story as well.
Football is family, ain't it?
It is. It is. Ooh, Schoonmaker. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys. All right, you're on the clock here. Thought process. Where you going? What are you thinking?
I'm going 5-star recruit. I'm going high talent, high upside in the right offense.
Don't do it.
I love his situation in New England. I've been high on him in the past. LSU's Kayshon Boutte.
That's what your team name should be, Boutte.
Yeah.
You put him on your team. Your team is Boutte.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. I love what he can do. He's shown that he can play at a high rate of speed and athleticism. He can make good catches. He has good body control. You've seen him do it against top talent like Georgia. He's had big games against big schools. Could it have been the quarterbacks in those systems that have kind of held him back in those years, the past couple years? We know he had that ankle injury. Patriots, I think, got some good value on him. I know he was a late day 3 pick, but they got some good value on him. I think he's a fit in that Bill O'Brien system. I love the landing spot for Boutte, getting him here in the third. I'll take the hit on the upside.
Yeah, in the third round, I don't hate it. Like you said, it's the landing spot was probably the best landing spot for him to get some structure. But
exactly, learn the Patriot way.
Yes, our guy in the chat, Believeland here, that's on the clock. I don't know if you can see it or not, but he said you sniped him. He was taking Boutte as well, and then our very own Jorge Edwards, the boss man, Boutte.
Love it. Wide receiver 12. So that's right about where I got him ranked right now. So I don't mind it. Zach Evans.
Okay, going back before your Boutte pick, take him out. Go back to my question. Biggest steal in the draft at this point. So basically up to the 3-8. Who was the biggest value that you could see right here? I think I know the answer that you're going to come up with, but I want to hear it out of the horse's mouth, as they say.
It's got to be Hyatt in the third there.
Okay, I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to go one earlier than that with your boy Jordan.
Yeah, Reed's a good pick there. 3-3. That's pretty much where he's been going. I think Hyatt's got a good chance based on the guys picked around him. Chase Brown, Evan Hall, Rashee Rice might have a good opportunity there in Kansas. Jaden Reed's going to have a good shot to do make some kind of noise in that Green Bay offense, but I like the Hyatt pick. If Charbonnet can find a good kind of situation there in Seattle where maybe he's the pass catching back, where they have a decent old line, I think that 2.6 is a good spot for sharps. But what's yours? What's your value pick in the draft so far?
Man, I don't. I think the Chris Brown, the singer, Chase Brown, they're going up to the Cincinnati with an easy, depending on what the NFL does with
Mixon.
With Mixon, yeah, the Chase Brown has an easy walk into what could be RB1 on that team. So I like the Chase Brown. I'm gonna you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna call him Chris Brown from now on because I screwed that up so good. It's gonna be Chris Brown from now on. Anytime I talk about him, I've got to go get the music drop. We'll use that, and that's what I'm gonna do with Chris/Chase Brown from now on. No, I love Chase Brown as a player. So at that 3-2 with the ease that he has to be able to become the running back one in that system, give me that all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take another guy upside right here. And then as I pick this, there's a question in the chat I want to bring up. So I'm going to go ahead and take Darnell Washington here. Love his landing spot at Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go ahead and snag this guy. And then I want you to answer this question right here from Jorge. Thoughts on pairing Butte with Juju for the Pats for this season from a general football perspective?
I like it. I think it's a great fit. All they really other have over there is Tyquan Thornton. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to fit. They still have Devontae Parker, but both guys have good percentages of playing both inside and outside. They're two guys that they're going to be able to move all over the field, guys that are good in the middle, guys that can fast move, quick off the line. It's just if Kayshon Boutte can buy into that system, into that Bill O'Brien offense, I believe that the Patriots got some good value on Kayshon Boutte there. Football wise, I think he absolutely fits in what they want to do, as well as Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju Smith-Schuster is a solid fit for that offense, and he was one of my sleepers as well heading into the season. So he's a guy that I'm going to be looking to draft quite a bit in both redraft and dynasties.
I do appreciate this support from our boss right here. Joe Mixon is Chris Brown. Look, we got
after dark.
We got our boy right here, Drew 3MR. How you doing tonight, sir?
Drew.
What's up, fellas? Yeah, I saw Chris on here holding it down, man. So I had to come hang out with the Fourth and Frames family. And then you're usually behind the glass, but you made a special on-screen appearance. I can't miss this.
I threw out Chris Brown's name already. I mean, Jorge's backing me up with Chris Brown. It's after dark, baby. Let's do it.
That's the only reason they told you had to put After Dark in the title to be able to be on screen.
It was actually my idea. So there you go, Drew.
I like it. I like it, man. You're a smart man.
Drew just messaged us and he wants to do another one. So if anybody is in the chat that would like to do another after this, we are ripping through this pretty quick, so we can do another one afterwards if anybody else wants to. Absolutely, I'm down to do it. Chris, are you good to do one more after this if we can get it filled and go?
Hell yeah,
my man.
I love the strange pick though. Value pick in a tight end premium. We've seen what Jacksonville likes to do with the tight ends. Dynasty wise, Evan Ingram, I believe, was only signed to a 1-year deal to stay in Jacksonville.
Yes.
I love it. He got good draft capital. He was a second-round pick. I'm taking Brenton Strange all day. I'm waiting on the tight end, and I'm rolling with Brenton Strange if I can get him here in the late 4th.
Yes, I want to back up a little bit to where I picked Darnell Washington. We had Parker Washington go directly after him, A.T. Perry, Puka Nacua, who I picked him up in the 4th round, I think it was 411 today in one of my drafts. So I absolutely love that. Xavier Hutchinson, Tank Dell, and then the Sean Tucker pick at the end.
There it is.
Who was set up to with UDFA with Tampa. So
yeah,
absolutely love that. So while I set this next one up, we'll get it set up. You guys go ahead and let us know what your thoughts were, and I'll get this next one set up.
I wish I could see the draft board a little bit better because I'm not sure where the picks lie, but I really appreciate whoever didn't let Sean Tucker go undrafted though.
Yeah, 412 in the draft. Sean
you're sick,
Tucker.
yeah.
Do you think he has the possibility to be that next? Obviously, I know your thoughts, Drew. You think pretty highly of Sean Tucker. He did land in a pretty good spot. Is he worth the draft capital, or is he a guy that maybe you wait until waivers roll and you try to take your shot? Or are you all in? If you got that late fourth or any fourth pick, you're picking him.
Yeah, I'll spend a fourth rounder on him all day. I mean, at that point, you're just throwing darts at a dartboard anyway. So, like, I don't think he's gonna overtake Rachaad White, but at least not at the beginning of the year, But I'll play it.
Good opportunity though.
Yeah,
but who else is really in that backfield, right?
That's the reality. Is like his path to being RB2 doesn't have a lot of resistance to it. So, like that's appealing enough to me. And it's going to be a bad team, so sorry, Gator, but my team's going to be bad too, so it's fine. But so that that might lend them to just taking a chance and seeing what they got on him. But I'm a big Rachaad White fan too, though. So it's I don't think he's just going to come in and take over for him or anything. But
well, real quick, guys, I just dropped the link into the. To our Slack chat, so you guys can go ahead and jump in first, get your spots, and then I will add it to I will get it to other folks as well. But I just wanted to get you guys in there first, that way you're not sitting there and wondering where the hell it is.
So we pick wherever we want.
I'm gonna let you pick where you want, and then I will pick third. So I'll let you guys go first.
So nice. What a gracious host, eh?
I mean, if Drew doesn't hurry up, he's gonna get left out. So
I'm in here.
All right, and you know what? I'm gonna jump in front of Drew. I'm gonna snipe Drew. I'm gonna snipe Drew.
You better not.
Let's see if I can.
Drew, have you seen anything crazy happening in these Superflex rookie drafts? I don't know how many you've been in, but
so none of my first rookie draft doesn't start until tomorrow morning. So I don't have any crazy stories yet, but I have seen some people on Twitter saying that they've seen Anthony Richardson go 1 and Gibbs go up at like 3, 4. Yeah, in front of some of the quarterbacks, so definitely some movement for sure.
Yeah, like I was telling Chris before we jumped on, I've seen Anthony Richardson go 1. I have seen JSN going 2. In fact, I took JSN 2 in a Superflex because I thought I had the 102 and the 104. Mm-hmm. And I really thought, with Bijan going 1, I took JSN. I really thought that, a quarterback would fall to me that was worth a damn. And the only one that fell was CJ Stroud. And like I said to Chris earlier, the thing that concerns me with CJ Stroud is the offensive line and everything else with Houston right now. Not that I don't think that it's going to be good. It's just one of those ones I just don't know yet. The weight is just, I don't know that I can afford to wait. So I ended up taking Gibbs at the 105, I think it was. So ended up with JSN and Gibbs. I don't hate it, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, they did. Who was the guard that Houston grabbed this offseason? Didn't they traded for a guard from somebody, right, to improve their O-line? And I know they signed the left tackle long term. Who was the guard?
Yeah, you're gonna have to look that one up because I have no clue.
Jack Mason. They
Guards
traded.
Don't get fantasy. Points,
yeah.
Drew.
Well, that's the problem. Is because he came from Tampa. I have no idea that he's even alive anymore. Didn't even know he was still playing football.
So they got a couple decent pieces on the line.
Gave him up for a 3rd-round pick, if I'm not mistaken, or a 5th-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. It was crazy, insane.
Drew, in our last draft, the wide receiver one that went first was Jordan Addison before any other wide receiver. What do you think of that move?
Really?
Yeah.
I think that knowing that Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf is already there is going to cause people to over adjust a little bit. I like Addison, but I think Jason is the clear better talent, and I'm especially with these top end guys. I'm gonna choose the talent over the landing spot. As you get deeper into the draft, I understand going over landing spot versus which 6th round pick you thought was better in the pre-draft process, but I think it was pretty consensus. Jason was the best receiver in this class, even though it took a little bit longer to come off the board. He was the first receiver off the board. And honestly, I don't really hate his landing spot. I mean, it's not going to be great his rookie year, but I do think he eventually steps in as the wide receiver 2 at a minimum in that offense and has the chance to be the wide receiver 1 as well. Whereas Jordan Addison, I think wide receiver 2 is his ceiling. And I don't feel the same with JSN. I do think he has a wide receiver 1 ceiling. It might take him a couple of years to get there, but I love that. I say all that to say that I love Addison, though. I think he's going to be a consistent wide receiver 2 for the next 5, 6, 7, 8+ years. So if you want to take that safety in the middle of the first round, then I can't hate you for it.
We're gonna get into our full draft reactions on Wednesday with Jason Snyder from Dynasty Nerds on 4th and Frames at 9 p.m. Make sure you join that show. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to have our NFL draft reactions, fantasy according, of course. We're not going to be talking about too much of the offensive linemen and stuff like that. And we're gonna have a mock draft ourselves. I think with the 4 of us, I don't know if Jason's staying for the mock draft, but I think it'll be 4 of us, if not you, myself, and Rhett. But we're almost full. We got 5 spots left in this second mock draft. This is the Fantasy and Frames mock draft after dark live show. We had the first one roll already. Superflex, tight end, premium, 4 rounds, 2 minutes per pick. We are rolling. The first one was pretty chalky with a couple guys picked before they were picked in amongst consensus, like that JSM pick. Charbonnet has been a guy that pre-draft was being picked in that 1.6, 1.9 back end mid first range. In the past draft, he fell to 2.6. Is that good value for a Charbonnet? You think it's warranted? You think the ADP drop is warranted, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I do because of the landing spot, like we said in the first one.
Yeah.
Again, going back to there was 5. I think it was 5 total wide receiver or running backs that eclipsed the 65%, snap share on games that they were not injured that they actually played in. So if they were injured, it wasn't even included in that percentage. So the 65%, that just tells me that there's, truly only 5 backs that are basically considered bell cows, right? So everybody's is time sharing, and
it's all committee.
With the injuries that Seattle had between, Penny and who was the other? They had 2 others that got injured right after Penny.
DJ
Dallas,
Travis Homer, missed some time.
So you had these backs that were they would have been there with Walker, but couldn't keep him healthy. And we all know Seattle and Pete Carroll love to use multiple backs, just like most teams in the league. So I absolutely think it's fair that he's dropped back a little bit because we all wanted. This was probably right about the spot that he was going anyway, but we just could not fathom him going to a timeshare with what presumably was the number 1 rookie last year because Breece Hall was down. So it's going to be hard until you see what the timeshare is truly going to be.
Yeah, what his role is going to be in that offense. Could he be the pass catching back because he's a little bit of a better receiver than Kenneth Walker is? Is he going to have that role? Is he going to be the more physical back? He's got decent size. That's training camp going into the season is going to determine his role. Drew, do you think that Charbonnet is going to have a RB3 season this coming year?
I don't know, man. It's tough to project. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I imagine he has to be productive because I just don't know how you spend the draft capital you did if you don't have a plan to use
the
them.
good
But
capital. Yep.
I'm still you talked about a name. I'm still kind of burnt a little bit by this coaching staff and running backs because they spent that first round pick on Rashad Penny, and I love Rashad Penny, so I invested heavenly. Holy, my love for him was heavenly, but I invested in him heavily. In rookie drafts and startup drafts because he had that first round draft capital, and I love the player. And then I just watched Chris Carson play over him over and over, and kept watching him get hurt. And so I don't know, man. It's tough for me to trust this coaching staff again, but it's also hard to see a way they don't get him involved considering the draft capital they invested.
Yeah, so I can only imagine your heart just got broke again Saturday afternoon. As you're sitting there, you're Rashad Penny, yes, to Philly. Oh, yes, it's going to be Rashad Penny time. If DeAndre Swift's there now, damn it.
Honestly, so it definitely hurts his value some for sure, but I don't think Swift is going to cut into a ton of what I was projecting Penny to get anyway. I think he'll more so, fill the what Kenny Gainwell was doing last year and the non-Miles Sanders backs, except, Rashad Penny. I don't think he handles as much work as Miles Sanders did for the 5-6 games that he's healthy. I think it'll be a much more split, like more even split, or even, towards Swift a little bit, maybe to where, whereas Miles Sanders was getting the majority of snaps. But I wasn't thinking that he was going to come in and take 70-80% of snaps anyway. So, but definitely a better pass catching back than Kenny Gainwell. So it has to hurt his value some.
Yeah, and everybody that's watching right now, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you would please hit that thumbs up for us, share the stream with everybody you can, and definitely hit that subscribe. Jorge's in the chat. He's higher on McIntosh and Charbonnet, but we can change his mind if we get 10 more subscribers because of this stream. He will be a Charbonnet fan tonight. No, seriously, Jorge is higher on McIntosh than Charbonnet. That's a little shocking. Drew, I mean...
Is he messing with us?
That's kind of what I was wondering. So, I mean, why? What does McIntosh offer that Charbonnet doesn't, in your mind?
Worse draft capital, a worse running back, a little bit better of a pass catcher. So, not much, in my opinion.
And there's something that I think a lot of people do not realize about Charbonnet is he's not a bad pass catcher.
No, he's not. McIntosh probably has him a little bit there, but considering his size and things like that, he's a very capable pass catcher. But yeah, where did
Jeff Lambert chiming in? Sounds like we're talking about wine, McIntosh apple wine or Charbonnet. I love it. Drew, we got 2 more people to jump in here, and then we'll get we'll get to see what's going on with this draft. I need 2 more people. As soon as we get 2 more people, we can fire this thing off. We'll get everybody in here. So for me, full PPR.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
no. You gotta follow this strand. He's saying McIntosh better than Charbonnet. Jeff's saying we're talking about wine. He's saying full PPR. I don't know. It sounded funny when in my head. It wasn't quite as funny. Drew, fill me out here.
It makes Jorge's comment make more sense that he prefers McIntosh over Charbonnet in full PPR. But I don't know. I just honestly, I don't know with McIntosh not getting picked up until the 7th round, Charbonnet getting picked up with the 2nd round draft capital. I think it's going to take McIntosh to really get any significant enough playing time to put up fantasy points. Like I don't think the snap percentages are going to be there.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
I like it. 2 people left.
Yeah, we need
He's
2.
still running his 40 from the combine.
That's gold. Gold, Jerry.
Here's the reason I do not like McIntosh. I don't know how many people saw it, but if they didn't, they need to go back and check out the Fantasy and Frames YouTube channel. It's on there. The shorts where we had our very own Keith Fleming and Joe Matz went down to the Senior Bowl, and Kenny McIntosh was trying to get onto the field or headed to the field. And of course, either Joe or Keith had to stop him and ask a question. Because we all know Kenny McIntosh is from the state of Florida. So one of them asked, and I don't know which one it was. I want to find out. But one of them asked Kenny, why did you go to Georgia instead of going to Florida? Do you know what Kenny McIntosh said? Because I want to win.
I mean, at least he's
right.
a smart kid. That checks out.
He did win. He did win.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of rude. And of course, Keith at the time sends that directly to me in a private message, and I'm like, asshole.
But he's a big Georgia guy, right?
Oh yeah, Keith's
a
huge.
He was pretty heated when the Falcons didn't take Jalen Carter.
If you haven't seen that short,
that was a meltdown to watch.
Check that one.
He was not a happy guy. He was on tilt. He left the stream. He was like, he wasn't talking anymore. He said his piece, and he was just like, all right, I got to get out of here. I want to watch the basketball game.
Yeah,
that was what a rant. He was not happy.
It was so fun trying to get I think it was about a 3.5 minute rant down to a minute. And it was great. It was great. I was able to do it, and it was the rant itself came out perfect. We just got one more, so we'll get this thing started. We got I want to get one more in here. I'd hate to throw an auto pick in there, but if we throw the auto pick in it, it's at team 10. The three of us can pick who that's going to be. It's already 10 after 11. So you want to go ahead and kick this one off? Let's get the koala bear in here.
Drew, I got to ask, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about Georgia. The former quarterback of Georgia is now the backup quarterback to a former Georgia quarterback in Matt Stafford. As the Fantasy and Frames resident Rams fan, what do you think of the pick? Does he have opportunity to be a potential starter for the LA Rams?
I don't think he does, man. That's why I was so annoyed whenever they used that mid-round pick. Like this offense has so many more holes, or this team in general has so many more holes to fill other than backup quarterback. So no, whenever that pick came through, I was a little bummed because I think back up at best. And
I mean, he's shown that he can play the game at a high level as a quarterback.
As long as he has good wheels, as long as he's got the best team in the nation at his disposal, he should.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
But,
this is true. We see Brock Purdy go off. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, man.
Unfortunately, got me all flustered here, man.
While you're all flustered, you're over there picking Bryce Young at the 1-3. That's awesome.
Yep.
We're gonna do. It's gonna again be a 12-team Superflex tight end premium. The team 11 is not a team that is filled. So what we will do is between the three of us make that pick. So I will pause it real quick at that point, and between the three of us, we'll come up to a consensus. 2 out of 3 wins. We good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we got Bijan Robinson, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Jahmyr Gibbs, CJ Stroud off the board, first 5 picks. Any surprises so far, Drew?
Those would be the first 5 players I think should come off the board, and then number 6.
Don't give Chris any.
We'll see if Chris sticks with ADP or with the consensus, or if he
I want to go Dalton Kincaid.
I was seeing. I thought
he wants to go rogue.
Yeah, I'm gonna go JSN.
I thought you were going A-Chain right there.
Yeah, my love for A-Chain. As much as I like Addison, he's the guy.
Yeah, I think this is the consensus top 6. And I think these are the top. I think these are the 6 players that should come off the board in every rookie draft.
Agreed.
Now, would any of you guys be opposed to taking JSN before Gibbs?
No, I'm not opposed to it. I've got them in the same. I've got them in tier 3 together. They're the only 2 players in tier 3. So I just think those guys should go 5 and 6 in whatever order you want them to be.
Well, Drew, you were not here earlier. The one rookie draft I had, or one of the rookie drafts I had today, I had the 102 and the 105, and I thought, was it 5? Well, I'm sorry, 102 and 106, because there was the 3 spots in between, and I really thought that Gibbs was going to jump in there and I would get a quarterback at 106. Did not happen. I took JSN at 102, Bijan 101, and then I took JSN at 102, thinking I would just take whatever the 3 quarterbacks were there.
Right.
And of course it went Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and I was stuck with Jahmyr Gibbs. I did not feel bad, but I was, that's kind of where I was at. All right, we're coming up right here. I don't mean to cut everybody off, but we're coming up. We've got JSN, Addison, Flowers off the board. Will Levis at 1-9. 110 is happening right now. So of these players that are still on the board, Quentin Johnston, Zach Charbonnet, Dalton Kincaid, Devon Achane, Michael Mayer, that's this group right here. Which one are you looking at for the 11? Rashawn? Oh,
perfect.
Okay.
That was the pick.
Quentin Johnston was going to be the pick.
That was the pick. Roshan at the 110 though.
But this is Jamie.
That's his guy. That's his guy.
Yeah, Jeff knew he was gonna do it. I mean, it's hey, when we have a roast show,
that's the fantasy roast. RB3, Roshan Johnson.
Agree.
I get the love for the running back, but come on, Jamie. He's not RB3 in the class.
No, you can't take a day 3 running back in the first round of a rookie draft. It's just you're going to end up getting Tyler Algier next year.
Love the comp. Kincaid at 2-1, tight end premium. He's been going back end first. Getting him at the 2-1 there, I think, is pretty good value. But considering Roshan went in the first, kind of pushes his value back with Quentin Johnston there. Charbonnet at the 112. He went 2-6 last draft. He's bumped right up there at the back end of the first. I think
I've got him at 13 overall, so I think that's about where he should be going. In my
Who's
opinion.
That? Kincaid or
Charbonnet?
Charbonnet, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a steal right here.
If you snipe me again, you sniped me in the first round with Richardson. So if you snipe me again, I'm going to be a little annoyed.
Cole, you can honestly say that I sniped you with Anthony Richardson when I am the gator.
That's fair. I guess I should have.
He has rights. He has rights.
That's right. That's right. I watched all 13 of his college games.
All 13 of them.
No, I think I am getting a steal right here at the 2-2. And I'm going to take Devon Achane. And I hate that I sniped you again, but
you did not.
I didn't. Okay, good for you. The reason is again, like I said about Chris / Chase Brown, the ease to get to be that RB1 in that backfield just seems so easy for him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's got 2 30-year-old running backs in front of him right now, right? Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. So, I don't know if Jeff Wilson's quite 30 years old yet, but I'm pretty sure Mostert is.
But both of them are on 1-year deals too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Josh Walker said he likes the landing spot for him on a 1-year, $2 million deal. Yeah, I mean, I like the landing spot too, honestly. For Roshan, the draft capital is the only thing I really don't like, but I think Roshan is a better pass blocker than Khalil Herbert, so that's going to get him on the field anyway. Obviously we don't get points for pass blocking, but it's going to get him reps and snaps. And I think he can find himself on the field pretty early because of that. He was like the one running back that was left at that point in the draft that really scared me for Khalil Herbert's value. So it was, kind of like a worst case scenario for me as a Khalil Herbert believer. But so right here, let's see. This is going to be the 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting my running back 3 at the running back 6 here. So if I was able to pull that off in a real draft at the 203, I'd be very happy with that. But he was the one I was the highest on pre-draft, and he got the draft capital, a landing spot that I don't mind. So I'll take Kendre Miller at the 203.
Love the pick.
And the boss is chiming in on here, Drew. Just let's go. Let's go.
Look, if we're gonna take the time to talk, it's best to do it while we're on the clock, while we can control the clock, and let these guys just wait for a second. I want to be able to talk without having to miss too much.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
If you're gonna give me 2 minutes, I'm gonna use a minute and a half of that to talk to you guys about what just happened, and then I'll pick.
Yeah, somebody said to me earlier, you got to change it to a minute. I'm like, I don't know if I can stop these guys from talking over themselves then.
Ooh, where am I going to go here?
All right, so the second round, Kincaid, A Chain, Miller, Tank Bigsby, which, again, we talked about him in the first draft. I love, and I probably should have taken Tank over A Chain, but whatever.
I've got A Chain ahead of Tank.
Michael Mayer,
not by much, but.
And then, look at here, Chris gets his guy.
Not my boy, Jaden Reed.
That is his guy.
Yeah, good draft capital, great system, slot wide receiver who ends up on the Green Bay Packers, which are top 3 in targeting the slot wide receiver. He's going to be that outlet for Jordan Love. I love the pick, Jaden Reed. Let's go, MSU. I'm taking him over Mingo. I've said that in the past. I'm taking him over Marvin Mims. I don't like the Marvin Mims landing spot there in Denver. Rashid Rice and Josh Downs are probably the only 2 other guys I was contemplating. I just don't see Josh Downs getting a high amount of passing volume there in Indianapolis. And then there was one other guy, but I'm hoping he falls to me in the 3rd.
Well, looking at who I've got available to me coming here into the 3-2, some of these guys that I've coming available to me were available in this, or were taken in the second round of the last draft.
Mm-hmm.
So completely different drafts, the 2 altogether. So, but you had Hendon Hooker or Jonathan Mingo, Hendon Hooker, Sam Laporta, Marvin Mims, Tajay Spears at the 211. Rashid Rice at 212, Izzy Adebatakonda at 3-1. And now I've got a decision to make. Do I take Josh Downs? Do I take Jalen Hyatt?
He's good value on Downs there.
Do I take Luke Musgrave, or do I go with your guy? I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it.
You're not a K-Shot guy. Yeah.
I can't do it. No, it's Josh Downs. I think is the obvious pick right there, but it is for him to fall to 3-2 at this point is so that makes him QB 9. He was wide receiver 9. He was wide receiver 1 at the end of last year. The end of the 20, we're going to the 22, 23. So at the end of the 21 season, before last season, he was consensus wide receiver 1. So
which is wild to me. I don't think I have my wide receiver 1. Anyway.
Well,
I get it.
The difference is he had a better quarterback this year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Sam Howell was no slouch in North Carolina when he was there. He set some records.
Josh Downs was going to be my pick if you didn't pick him, so he wasn't going to slide any longer. I like the Cedric Tillman landing spot too. Donovan Peoples-Jones on the last year of his deal. Jorge, it's messed up, man. Because if there was some way that you could track if you could go back to our fantasy and frame startup draft, if there was some way you could track like how long each person
Average
was on the
pick
clock,
time?
I bet you my average pick time was like 3.5 minutes, man. I was refreshing that shit every 2 minutes. Like I'm not built for slow drafts, so that's messed up, man.
But wait, Chris? What you didn't hear was he talked about Josh Downs, and then he kind of glossed over. Yeah, the Cedric Tillman pick was pretty good at that spot too. No shit, it was pretty good. It was your pick.
No, I was
you can talk bad about your pick.
he was my next receiver up, and I do like Josh Downs. I was the ideal pick there, but if I had to get sniped on him, I do still like Cedric Tillman with Donovan Peoples-Jones being on the last year of his deal. And I think he'll be able to get some red zone looks. I mean, you still have to deal with Amari Cooper, David Njoku. But I think Tillman's already a better receiver than Donovan Peoples-Jones as it is right now. The only thing that DPJ really has over Tillman is the familiarity with the offense that'll carry him for the first part of the year. But I think the talent will shine eventually. So I'll take Tillman there. Yeah, Jamie, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean the thing I'm seeing, Hyatt was the QB one there in Tennessee.
Sniped.
Tillman was QB. Hyatt was the wide receiver one there in Tennessee.
So Tillman was the wide receiver one last year, and then Tillman got hurt this year, and then Jalen Hyatt did what he did. If Tillman stays healthy all year, who's to say Jalen Hyatt does what he does? So I think that Tillman's injury played not a big part, but part.
It played a big part because everybody forgot about Tillman.
Yeah, they did.
And then Hyatt goes and just blows up like he did, especially against the Alabama, or in the Alabama game, he blew up like that.
The Alabama game was crazy.
Yeah, so everybody just forgot about Tillman, and Tillman was, not somebody to be slept on, and I think he's going to be a better wide receiver than Hyatt. He's already got a better route tree, so. We got, so this third round's looking like this. Izzy had Abanaconda, Josh Downs, Cedric Tillman, Zach Evans, Jalen Hyatt, Keyshawn Butte yet again to Chris.
Yes, sir.
Deuce Vaughn. He's just soaking up every bit of the Butte he can get.
I love the booty.
He loves the booty. Deuce Vaughn, Luke Musgrave, Chris/Chase Brown, Evan Hall, Darnell Washington. I got sniped by the auto because I'm not a huge Georgia fan, but I do like Darnell Washington. I guess it's been beat in my head that I like Darnell Washington, so now I believe it.
I don't still know what his role is going to be in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
I was to say that I hated the landing spot because it feels like he talks about he even called himself basically like I could just be another offensive lineman if you need me to, and I feel like Pittsburgh was like, yeah, we agree, and our offensive line kind of sucks. So
yeah, but
they've got Freiermuth for the pass catching tight end. So
but here's the thing: when it comes to the tight ends, right? We want them on the field, and if they can get on there and block we look at 3 years with tight ends.
We want them on the field, but we also want them to run routes, and I don't know how many routes he's going to be running. That's my concern.
But we look at them like they're 3 years. They're 3-year projects, so they're rookie,
right?
Or they're basically freshman, sophomore, junior years in the league. Are almost like, okay, in that junior year is where we want to see production.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there and get him on the field, he's learning at least the blocking scheme, then he's learning the routes. If we're getting, a little bit here, a little bit there, but then ultimately he's going to be on the field when it matters in 3 years.
Yeah. Darnell Washington, the first dual eligible tackle tight end.
It's very, very possible. Very possible.
But I mean, back to the third round, beginning of the fourth round.
So ugly here.
I don't hate the shot.
God, it's so ugly here. What are we doing? Can we stop? Can we? I'm going to cancel the draft now.
There's nothing left to see here.
There's nothing left to see here. These are straight dart throws. I'm going to take my guy Xavier Hutchinson. Call it a day. Don't know what I'm going to see out of him in Houston, but. Fourth round, dart throw. Here we go.
I love that in the fourth. I got to keep the meme going. I'm not going to leave my first rookie mock without him. So give me Sean Tucker, baby.
See, God dang it, I didn't scroll far enough, Jorge. Dang it, I'd have taken Puka before I take him. Yeah. And yes, Jeff, we can say that Chris is a booty man.
It ain't your beauty, it's your booty.
Oh, we need to. Yes, we have to get that one put up. It ain't your beauty, it's your booty.
I gotta go A.T. Perry here in the 4th round. I love the landing spot in New Orleans. Pretty much the only other competition is a injured Michael Thomas and Rashid Shaheed. So I like the landing spot there with the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take a shot with A.T. Perry on that offense.
Love it. Straight wide receiver draft for you.
Yeah. I figure I like some of the value there. I like some of the guys I was getting. If I'm picking in the 1-6 spot, I'm a fringe playoff team, probably lacking in one area. I'm going to try to hammer some high upside guys, some guys that might get me a little bit of volume. I'm not forgetting about Olave. I know Olave is wide receiver 1 there in New Orleans. No chance that A.T. Perry beats out Olave, but to get playing time on the field, he only really has to beat out injured Mike Thomas and Rashid Shaheed.
Stop. So. You can't. You cannot. He's not going to be that Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid, the speed Shaheed.
I was going to say, as long as it's not like a race down the field or anything.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett going at the 312. What do you think about that? To the Rams. Over under 3.5 games he starts this year.
Under
3.5. I'm going under. If you give me 2.5, I'd get good odds on the over, and I would consider the over at 2.5. 3.5 is a little bit too rich for my blood.
Matthew Stafford is injury prone.
Yeah. Or if maybe if the Rams aren't in a good spot 3/4 of the way through the season, maybe Stetson Bennett comes in, gets some playing time. So if it was a 2.5, I'd probably take it.
If that's what we got to do to secure Caleb Williams, by all means, let's
start him week 1.
So you had what is it? Oh goodness Lord. Dorian Thompson Robinson. DTR at the 6th, 4, 5, 6, 7th quarterback off the board, and then Chris Rodriguez to close out the draft. That was quite fun. Thank you everybody that joined in for sure. We hopefully will be doing these more and more and more. But we do appreciate you guys jumping in. Chris, let's look at this last draft because I don't have the other board up. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'll pull it right back up for you guys to be able to see it. Let's real quick. Let's go over, like maybe the value of this. Which one got the best value? Which player got the best value here?
Gator, I'm going to give it to you again. I think Josh Downs at the 3-2 is probably the best value in the draft, considering he's a mid to early 2nd round pick in most drafts that I've been in so far. But I'm going to go Josh Downs there. Everything else has been pretty straightforward and following what the rest of the draft's been going. Even the 2-2 with A-Shane there at the 2-2, usually he's been going back 1, late 1, back 1. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you, Drew? What do you think?
So there's 2 that sticks out for me. I think Team 11 got a steal with Quentin Johnston at the 111. He's my 7th overall player in Superflex. So 111, I think that's great value. And then I love the Sam Laporta at the 209 as well. I think that is going to be a great pick. As Gator mentioned, tight ends, it might take a little bit, but I love Laporta's profile as a pass catching tight end. So
especially on Detroit, is what they lacked was that pass catching. They had Brock Wright, which is a block. Tight end.
They had one.
They had TJ Hawkins. TJ Hawkinson couldn't block. That was his issue.
Then it needed a block.
Sam is a willing blocker. He's
he can do both.
He's not afraid to block, though.
He'll get dirty.
The one thing I will say about Sam Laporta is, in this draft he went, tight end 3.
Yep.
In 2 years, he could very, very, very well be tight end 1 of this class.
I definitely tight ends, man.
Yeah, it's within the realm of possibilities for him for sure.
So let's go the other way around. Drew, biggest reach in this draft.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm sorry, man. But if you take a if you take a day 3 running back in the first round, I'm gonna have to call it a reach. So Roshan Johnson's got to be out there as a reach for me. And I know that Jamie disagrees, but that's got to be the biggest reach.
Same question to you, Chris.
I'm going to go Will Levis. I'm guessing it's drafted based on positional scarcity, super flex. You kind of want to lock up that quarterback. I'm just not a big Will Levis guy. So for me, with Quentin Johnson still on the board there at the 1-9, I'm going to go Will Levis.
Excellent. Guys, I had a great time. I want to remind everybody, thank you, first of all, for checking us out, watching us, drafting with us, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you give us that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed so when we go live, hit that bell. You'll know when we go live. You'll know when we drop new content. Drew, let everybody know where they can find you. Chris, take us home.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Drew3MR. That is the only place I'm at, so it's easy to find me. So if you want to talk ball, chop it up, feel free to come check me out.
Yeah, same thing. Twitter at FFChrisB. You can find Drew, myself, and Rhett with Gator J behind the glass. Wednesday nights now on the Fourth and Frame show. We got Jason Snyder this week as a special guest where we'll be reacting to the NFL draft as well as having a mock of our own. Appreciate you all. Thanks for joining.